Welcome back to the 1v1 Brawl Gauntlet. This week we have Mizzet, Reborn, squaring off against a Golgari Graveyard deck. Let's get right into it. Before the game starts, my returning opponent from the last episode, Jeff, plays a landline on the board, and with that, the game begins. On its first turn, he plays a Swamp, passes, and I play a Tranquil Cove, going up to 26 life. Another Swamp hits the field on his side, and he passes. Back in my turn, I play a Gateway Plaza, paying the 1 mana. After playing land for turn, Jeff taps 3 mana and plays the banner, choosing green. I play Rugged Highlands, going up yet another life, and I pass. When the turn is received, a new land hits the field. This one is a forest. Shortly after, 4 lands are tapped and Storrev, Jeff's commander for this game, hits the field. In my turn, the Wanderer hits the field and immediately down-tags, exiling Jeff's commander. This is successfully done, and I pass the turn. During his turn, he plays a Gingerbread Cabin that enters battlefield tapped. He then taps 5 mana because he has the banner untapped as well, so that he can play Nissa. At this point in time, Nissa is going to +1, untapping one of his lands. The land that will be untapped in this case is a forest. It gets 3+1 counters on it, and it also has Vigilance and Haste, which allows it to kill the Wanderer. Then it will be Vivian's Arcbow will hit the field. In my turn, I untap, and then I play Casmina, Enigmatic Mentor. I -2 and discard a Selesnya Guildgate. Then I play Temple of Silence, scrying and putting that card to the bottom. Back in Jeff's turn, he plays his land for turn before tapping some mana to recast his commander. Nissa will once again be ticked up, and yet another land is untapped, and the counters are put on it, and it now has Vigilance and Haste. He attacks with that 3/3, and I block with a 2/2. I play Interplanar Beacon, and then tap 3 mana with the mana provided by Interplanar Beacon to play Narset. Looking through the top 4, I find Enter the God Eternals, and then I play Dovin Hand of Control. I minus Dovin Hand of Control, and I target Storrev. I down-tick Casmina once more, making a 2/2, drawing a card, and then discarding a card. I discard Thrash Threat. My opponent taps the lands necessary to make his land a creature. He then attacks with 3 lands, one at Narset, one at Dovin, one at me. I block the one coming at Narset, which is also the largest. Dovin dies, and then I take 3 damage. He taps one of his lands to play Nissa's Triumph, allowing him to get 3 land cards from his library because he has Nissa. The cards he gets are Overgrown Tomb, Command Tower, and a Forest. Then some more mana is tapped before the turn is over, and he plays God Eternal Bantu. At this point, he sacrifices nothing, and the play continues. Back in my turn, I down-tick Narset after playing a Scoured Barrens to look for some answers. I take Vraska Storm's Eminence out of the top cards before tapping 2 mana and playing a Thought Erasure. After a revealed hand, I choose End-Raze Forerunners as the card I'm going to take from his hand. It is then discarded and 2 other lands go back to his hand. I then play Solar Blaze, wiping the board for all creatures except for Bantu. I don't have anything else to do on my turn, so I pass. An Overgrown Tomb hits the field and 2 damage is taken by my opponent. A land and Bantu both attack me and I take 8 damage. Before the turn ends, more mana will be tapped, and an unfortunate Hydra is going to come out with 12 +1/+1 counters on it. That is all my opponent can do, so it goes back to my turn. In my turn, I'll tap the 4 mana, and I'll play Vraska. This is a Planeswalker spell, so it gains you 1 life. I'm going to down-tick, making a Death Touch blocker. Night of Autumn hits the field. I'm going to destroy target artifact or enchantment, and take out Vivian's Arcbow. In Jeff's turn, his land for turn is a Command Tower. He +1s once again, making another 3/3. He He then attacks me for a lot, and I block the big trample with a 1-1 death touch, and I block a land with a 2-1. At this point, I do believe I should have taken more than 12, but it was midnight, and that's what we had down, so that's what I'm going to go with right here. Sorry for that, but it's probably not going to matter much, because here, Jeff is once again going to play as commander, and I'm going to be forced to respond. I'll tap 6 mana and I'll play Liliana, giving me 1 life, and I'll -2, making him sacrifice 2 creatures. He sacrifices his commander and a land. His ultimate goes off and he gets all of the forests in his deck, and now all of his lands have indestructible. I say this mistake does not matter too much, because he's going to once again attack me and put me down to 1 life. Then he's going to play a Rotting Regisaur, because who doesn't need a Rotting Regisaur? In my turn, I'm going to play Time Wipe, wiping the board, at least for the moment. Although his lands do have indestructible at this point in time, so they are not destroyed. Nissa +1s creates another land, and because I'm not dead enough yet, God Eternal Ronus will hit the field, doubling the power of all of his creatures until end of turn. This is more than enough to finish the game, and in desperation I growth spiral trying to find a field of the dead. That's game 1. Starting game 2, I play a Temple of Mystery, allowing me to scry 1. Jeff starts off with an Evolving Wilds, cracking it immediately. I play Field of the Dead on my turn, cutting his library. The turn comes right back to me, and I play a Plains, tapping 3 mana for a Knight of Autumn with the +1 storm counters. His third land for game is a Castle Garenbrig, and 3 mana is immediately tapped so he can play a Leyline Prowler. Back in my turn, I play an Interplanar Beacon. I tap 4 mana to play Chandra, Fire Artisan, gaining me 1 life. Now I can play this because of the Interplanar Beacon as well. I'm going to +1 to exile the top card of my library, which is the Davriel. In my opponent's turn, he's going to play his land for a turn, which in this case is a Forest. He's then going to tap 4 mana with 2 black from the Leyline Prowler to play this Storrev. In my turn, before I do anything, I +1 Chandra, exiling the top card of my library, and Arboreal Grazer, which I then play, and I put a Selesnya Guildgate on the battlefield. My turn is met with a Gingerbread Cabin, entering the battlefield tapped. Voracious Hydra is Jeff's play for the turn. It enters the battlefield with 4 counters on it, and it fights my creature. After he moves to attacks, he is then dealt 5 damage back from the 5 damage he dealt to Chandra Fire Artisan. I move back to my turn and I +1 Chandra. I reveal a Saheeli Sublime Artificer. I play my land for turn, and then I tap 3 mana, gaining 1 life as well to play Saheeli. I then pass the turn, leaving 3 mana up. In Jeff's turn, one of my least favorite cards to play, I think now, Nissa Who Shakes the World hits the battlefield. Nissa +1s, untapping a land and putting 3 counters on it. The land gains Vigilance and Haste. The land and some other creatures attack me. Some of them attack me, some of them attack Chandra. In response to the ones attacking Chandra, I flicker her out. I take 6 damage from the ordeal, and Chandra flickers back in at the end of turn. I +1 Chandra, exiling Domri. I play Command Tower as my land for turn, and as my 7th land, it gains me a 2/2 zombie. I pay 3 mana, and I play Domri. Not only does Domri gain me a life, but also a servo because of the fact that it was a non-creature spell. I tap the 5 remaining mana I have to play Enter the God Eternals. Veil of Summer keeps Enter the God Eternals from dealing damage, but it does not prevent me from gaining life, milling myself, or from creating a 4/4 token. It's also another non-creature spell, so it creates yet another servo. In what is starting to feel like a clone of last game, God Eternal Bantu hits the field, and Leyline Prowler is sacrificed so that he may draw a card. Nissa's +1, and a land gets 3 +1 counters and is untapped. another large attack ensues, and I make the blockers I think will guarantee me the best chance of survival. Because of Domri, my creatures get +1/+0, so 2 servos are enough to take out his commander. I do, however, take 10 damage. Additionally, once in future, we'll reclaim Evolving Wilds and Veil of Summer from the graveyard. He will then play Evolving Wilds and immediately crack it before passing the turn. I once again +1 Chandra and exile the top card of my library. This time it's a Liliana Dreadhorde General. I play Tranquil Cove as my land for turn, gaining 1 life and creating yet another zombie. I pay the 6 mana and then play Liliana, gaining 1 life and creating another servo. I do a strange little dance to make sure I've activated all my planeswalkers, and then I pass the turn. Mobilized District is the next card to hit the battlefield before the mana is tapped and Leyline Prowler is recast. The next card hitting the battlefield will be Nissa's Triumph. The Triumph will go and get 3 lands. Because they don't have to be basics once again. The 3 lands will be Overgrown Tomb, Command Tower, and a basic land. Nissa will activate once again, making yet another 3/3 land. Now a lot of creatures attack, and I assign blockers. Then the mana is tapped to make Mobilized District a creature. At the end of the day, all I'm left with is a 4/4 token, and all he is left with is a 2/3 Leyline Prowler. At the end step, I play Growth Spiral. This allows me to draw a card and get a land on the battlefield, which makes a zombie. Because it's a non-creature spell, I also get a 1/1 servo. The first thing I do is once again activate Chandra, this time revealing Thought Erasure. I play Thought Erasure. I cast the Thought Erasure, causing Jeff to have to reveal his hand. Inside, besides lands, are Sir Conrad and Veil of Summer. I choose Veil of Summer, and it is discarded. I then down-tick Domri, and this has my zombie fight his 3/3 land. They both die. Because a creature I control died, I draw a card. I then play Thrash Threat, killing the Prowler. And then I swing with some creatures at Nissa to do 8 damage to her. Nissa is finally dead, and I'm really happy. I play my land for turn, and it gives me a 2/2 zombie. That's all I can do, so I pass. In Jeff's turn, he plays a Command Tower, and then taps 5 mana in order to play an Awaken the Erstwhile. It is countered by an Absorb, and I gain 3 life. Once again, because it's a non-creature spell, I gain a servo. Back in my turn, I move to attacks, and then after attacks, I can ultimate Chandra, so the game is over. In Game 3, I start with a decent hand, and the game was started with a Leyline of Abundance hitting the battlefield. A Forest is played on turn 1 by Jeff, and in my turn I play a Temple of Mystery, scrying, and keeping it on top. Turn 2 is a Forest for my opponent, and for me, I play a Temple once more, and this time I scry. The card that was on top when I scried was Teferi's Time Twist, and I decided to put that card in the bottom. A Forest will hit the battlefield here, and 1 mana will be tapped so that a Pelk Collector can be played. During my turn, I play yet another Temple, and I decide after a long debate to keep the card on top. The card that I was debating to keep on top or not was a Dismal Backwater. I pass the turn after this, and there is now an upside down forest on the battlefield. Overgrown Tomb enters the battlefield untapped, causing a 2 life loss for my opponent. Dreadhorde Invasion is the next card to hit the battlefield. I take 1 damage for being attacked, and I move it back to my turn. In my turn, that 1 life will quickly be regained by a Dismal Backwater, but that's the only thing I play this turn. Jeff loses one and amasses one at his upkeep, and a gingerbread cabin hits the battlefield untapped and he creates some food. He also plays Yorvo, only to have it countered, this time by an Absorb. Absorb gains me 3 life. I once again take 1 damage, and then I move into my turn. In my turn, my land for a turn is Selesnya Guildgate. I don't do anything else. During my opponent's turn, we see Storrev hit the battlefield, and that puts a +1/+1 counter on the Pelt Collector. I'm then attacked for 4 damage. No other cards are played this turn, and it is now my turn. I play Thornwood Falls and gain 1 life, before I play Mizzet Reborn, revealing the top 10 cards in my library. Among them, I keep a Thought Erasure, a Death Sprout, and a Knight of Autumn. I'm forced to discard 2 cards from full hand, and I discard the Elder Spell and Interplanar Beacon. This turn, I face another scary card and return to the Wild Speaker, boosting all of Jeff's creatures by +3/+3. I then get attacked for a lot of damage, and I block the Pelt Collector, killing it, and Mizzet survives. Unfortunately, in the process, I take a total of 14 damage and drop to 11. During my turn, I untap with a lot of mana, and I play Field of the Dead, creating a 2/2 zombie. I then play Thought Erasure. 3 cards are in Jeff's hand. Murderous Rider is the one I discard. There is also the Elder Spell and Yorvo, cards I do not decide to discard. I Surveil, and I keep the card on top. The zombie army once again amasses 1. Yorvo hits the battlefield once more, this time entering with 4+1/+1 counters on it and not being countered. Rotting Redistor is the next card to hit the battlefield, a 7/6 for only 3 mana. After attacks, I block both, killing one of his creatures, and one of my 2/2 zombies dies. At the end step, I Thrash, having Mizzet kill Yorvo. Knight of Autumn sees the battlefield. I choose to destroy target artifact or enchantment, and I destroy the Dreadhorde Invasion, stopping the amassing. Then, the Elder Spell is discarded due to the trigger on Rotting Redistor. Mana is tapped, and Storrev sees the light of the battlefield once more. A huge 7/6 swings my way, and I sacrifice the Knight of Autumn as a blocker. At the end step, I play Tyrant Scorn, and it kills the Rotting Redistor. I then tap enough mana to play Vraska Swarm's Eminence. I downtick, creating a 1/1 assassin. Then I pass the turn. Jeff does not have an answer, and he passes the turn right back. I draw a card, and in my turn, I tap 5 mana, and Sarkhan the Masterless hits the battlefield. I downtick Vraska once more, and I make another 1/1 assassin. I attack with my 1 assassin I already have, and after +1ing Sarkhan, I attack with another 4/4 flying. Because a creature with Death Touch did combat damage to player, I get the 1/1 counter on that creature. That is why one of my assassins right now has a +1/+1 counter. In the meanwhile, Nissa has been played, and it has been drowned in the locked. During my turn, I play a land, which makes a zombie. Then I +1 Sarkhan, making my Vraska a creature, and then I attack for lethal. That is the end of Game 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you want, and have a great day.